Hello everybody, welcome back to Talking Wolves and welcome back to a brand new match preview today on the channel. We're going to be previewing Wolves' clash against Brighton and Hove Albion this weekend. Another game, another 12 p.m. start on a Sunday. Of course, the last time that happened was that game against Burnley. But Wolves will be hoping to build on what was an okay performance against West Bromwich Albion on Monday, up against another Albion in Brighton. And yeah, I'll be giving my thoughts on the game today, giving you the team news, and of course, we'll be getting the Brighton perspective as well. But before we kick off, this video today is partnered with BT Sport and their brand new Draw the Line campaign. It's a new campaign that BT Sport are going to be pushing between now and the end of the season, which is to stand against, obviously, hate speech and abuse on social media. Of course, footballers, journalists, presenters, content creators, you know, we're all human, as are you guys, the viewers watching this video. And, you know, the numbers in the sort of research that BT and YouGov have done regarding hate speech online and on social media is worrying. So, of course, I'm hoping this campaign from BT Sport is really going to help eradicate some of this, help these social media companies, you know, step down and sort of dig their heels in a little bit more on trying to eradicate this from our online platforms. But Talking Wolves, obviously, we're very much happy to be involved in the BT Sport campaign called Draw the Line to try and eradicate all of these issues. I'll make sure I leave a link to it in the description as well down below so you can see what it is all about. But Wolves are going to be taking on Brighton on Sunday, a game where, of course, Wolves now, the season, you know, we're safe. Europe is out of the question, but we saw Nuno bring in a number of quality young players into the team on Monday. And to be fair, for fans, it was pretty good to watch at times. You know, Fabio Silva came in, we saw Vitinha come in, we saw Otasawi come in, and it was really, really promising at times. The goal was pretty poor defensively, but going forward and stuff, you look at our stats, we had a great number of efforts on goal, and you'd probably be hoping that we could have scored and probably should have scored maybe a few more, but we did keep Sam Johnston busy, especially in that first half. But our opponents today, or this weekend, sorry, in Brighton, if you thought our run against West Brom was a little bit worrying, you can also look at that Brighton one. Since 2012, we played them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 times and only beaten them once. Our last 4 games of them have been draws as well. You'll remember the last time we played at Molineux was just over a year ago now. I think that was the last game before the break in the season, and it was that dreadful 0-0 draw at Molineux. But earlier on this season, Wolves chucked away a promising lead. We were 3-1 up, I believe, and we drew to Brighton 3-3 at Molineux. So I'm hoping that we can get our revenge. But if you were somebody who'd like to put money on the game, a draw would be a pretty safe result, I would say. But Nuno has had his press conference today. As always, they do drop news normally quite late on the evening, on a Friday evening if it's a Sunday game. So there may be some more news that drops tonight. So keep your eyes out on the Talking Wolves social medias. But from what we know so far is that Jimenez still won't be back for this game, but there's some very important tests for him in just under 2 weeks' time, which will determine whether we will see Raul Jimenez again before the end of the season. So he's got some final tests. If they come up all clear, we may well see Raul Jimenez ready to play, and it's probably going to be that final game of the season against Manchester United, which he'll be in the squad for, which of course the ballot took place today. So do let me know in the comment section down below if what priority group you were in and if you're going to be able to grab a ticket for that game. But so Jimenez is a no right now, but Nuno has already said he's fit, he's fighting fit and ready. If once they get the all clear, he's ready to get back into the team. It sounds like Bolly as well, he's not going to be available for this game, but Nuno is very hopeful that he should be back available for the game against Tottenham next weekend. And it looks like João Moutinho is back fit, ready and available for selection on Sunday. So nothing else has been said over the likes of Aït Nouri Tomori, who picked up a very, very slight knock during that West Brom game. Of course, nothing said about Marçal recently either. So Moutinho is the one fresh face that Wolves can reintroduce into the side. But do you reintroduce him? Let me know, obviously, your thoughts on who you think should start against Brighton. But we're going to move on to now our away perspective. The Brighton fans over at Seagulls Social, I asked them a few questions leading up to the game, and this is what they had to say.
Maz from Seagulls Social here. So my overall sort of reaction or thoughts of this season has been, obviously it could have been so much better. We've been pretty poor in front of goal. Defensively very, very solid. And we are, on our day, we can dominate possession with the best of teams. We showed that at Man City losing 1-0. And, we absolutely battered Newcastle, for example, which isn't really that hard, to be honest. But yeah, on our day, we are very, very good football inside. So yeah, it's been a disappointing season, considering sort of where we are. We've been sort of battling relegation, to be perfectly frank. But with the win against Leeds the other day, it has all but secured our safety in the Premier League for another season. So yeah, it's been a slightly disappointing season, but I feel like next year we now got the foundation to really, really kick on. So on Graham Potter, just speaking for myself, I think he's a great, great manager. He's really been unlucky with the sort of strikers that we've had this season, and it's a bit of a poor reflection on him, but I don't think you can really judge a manager on his strikers' ability to score. So I think he's had a fair few critics just because of, the amount of times we've drawn or lost. But I think going on to next season, he will really, really push on now. I think we've got the foundations to really kick on, and I think he has a really good philosophy, a really attacking kind of fluid type of football, and I think he will really kick on next season with, if the players stay, the likes of Asuma, Ben White, for example. If they stay, I think he can do a lot with this team. Of course, he's still got a couple of flaws with regards to, sometimes his tactical decisions or substitute. He doesn't make substitutes quick enough, for example. So little things that, still need improving, but he's still relatively young and inexperienced at this level. So he can still definitely kick on, and I think next season we'll definitely see the best of Graham Potter. And, he's been, rightly so, been linked with the top clubs in the country. So, yeah, I think he's got a really bright future, and I'm a massive fan of him as well. I think if we stick with him, we can really sort of kick on. And with regards to the whole wider spectrum, we do have some people during the season Potter out, which was crazy when you look back at it now. But yeah, there are doubters out there, but personally for me, I think he's a great manager and really one to keep hold of as long as we can. The key players this season for us have definitely been Lewis Dunk, who's just been immense at the back. He's just incredible. I don't know how he still hasn't got an England call-up, which is baffling to all Brighton fans. So he's been really, really key at the back for us, alongside, the likes of Webster and White as well. And then probably the other stand-up players definitely been Yves Bissouma, again, been linked with the top 4 clubs in the country, and rightfully so. He's very, very, well, I wanted to say consistent. He's probably, he does go missing a couple of times in a few games. Kehowever, he is that kind of centre midfielder you want in your, to protecting that back five that we play, and he's just relentless. Won't stop running, and he's just an incredible player on the ball and off the ball as well. And so yeah, for me, they're the two standouts this season. But of course, the likes of Lallana does look very classy when he plays, but unfortunately just doesn't play enough. So the Wolves players that I would have feared the most probably would have been Pedro Neto, but he's obviously injured now until the end of the season. And I think Podence isn't having the best sort of run of form at the moment, so he would be another candidate. To be perfectly honest, I'm struggling to find someone just because of Wolves' poor run of form recently. I'm finding it hard to pinpoint a threat, so to speak. But I mean, you still got Ruben Neves, you still got some class players, Moutinho as well. But yeah, I'll be honest, really, no one really strikes that fear in me at the moment, especially with Jimenez missing, Podence, Neto, and Jimenez missing. Yeah, I can't really pinpoint it. Adama Traore, I don't know if he's playing well at all at the moment. So yeah, that's just me being honest. So with regards to the sort of starting lineup, I think Graham Potter will be unchanged, considering we had a good performance against Leeds. So it'll be a back five with 2 centre midfielders, and then we'll have like a front 3. So with the wing backs obviously employing as sort of wingers, as per se. So yeah, I don't see that changing at all. And with regards to the result, now I know I'm on a Wolves page here, so I've got to be careful with what I say. However, I am confident going into this game. I think we're in a better sort of shape than you with regards to the sort of current form and how we're playing. I feel like you guys have faltered quite a bit recently. So I am actually going into this quite confident, and I don't want to jinx it, and I probably will. But yeah, I think 2-0 Brighton. Yeah, but you never know. It's Wolves, so it's always a tough game.
So big thanks to the guys over at Seagull Social. You can find out their podcast, fantastic podcast, over on YouTube. Of course, they're on all the social medias as well, but I'll make sure I leave a link to them in the description down below. And yeah, predicted lineup for me. You know what? I would not be fully against us going unchanged from that West Brom game. If they make a change, I would probably hope to see maybe Otasowie stay in and possibly push to midfield, because he played like a right wing position against West Brom, which was interesting. I think if Dan Burn is playing for Brighton, you'd probably target that left hand side with maybe Adama Traore, who gave him nightmares last time out, and maybe reintroduce Podence. But there's definitely room for the likes of Vitinha, I think, to start. Definitely room for the likes of Fabio Silva still to start. I would keep that core of the young players that are going to be there next season playing and trying to get them as much experience as we can. Even Theo Corbiano, who has been on the bench for the last few weeks, I really hope he's on the bench again. And hopefully Wolves can get... I think Nuno's waiting for the right time to introduce him. And I think if we can... have a couple of goal lead or whatever, I think that's when Nuno will take the plunge and give Corbiano a chance in the first team, because I know a lot of fans are waiting for that to happen. But yeah, I would go and change if we can. A 4 at the back, I think we just look so much better going forward, don't we? And if Nuno is set on that now for next season, we've got to try and put it into practice now, especially when there's no real pressure on our final league position. You could argue out of our last 4 league games, on paper, this Brighton game is the most winnable, because we've got Everton, Spurs and United. We've got results against all 3 of them previously, but you would say on paper this is the most winnable, but our form against Brighton isn't great, to be honest. So I would go Patricio in goal, Aït-Nouri if he's fit at left back, Cody and Sace again at centre back, albeit, you know, I mean, possibly Kilman. I'd love Kilman maybe to come in for Sace. But right back, I would go with Nelson Semedo. Centre midfielders of... I'm going to go Otasowie and Neves. Drop Dendonka. And we will see Adama, Podence, Vitinha and Fabio Silva up top. I'd love to see Kilman, like I said. But that would be possibly my team going into the game against Brighton. Guys, let me know your thoughts, your 11 and your prediction ahead of this game. Not long to go now, guys. Only a couple, well, 3 more games after this weekend. A midweek, a game on Sunday against Spurs, a midweek game against Everton, and then that final game of the season at Molineux up against Manchester United. So guys, be sure to hit the like button down below, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until next time, I'll see you all very, very soon.